Good morning, students. Now I am going to discuss about C processor. C preprocessor. So before going to discuss about preprocessor, so we already learned about C program, how to run the C program. So whenever you are going to run the C program, what you have observed, so you are going to write the program so that is treated as source code. So whatever the programming instructions you are writing, so that will be treated as source code. So this source code you are going to give as an input to the system. So the system will accept the source code and it can understand, so it can process, but the system can understand only machine language. So what you are doing, you are going to convert the source code into machine understandable format. So that is, we are going to consider as machine code. So generally machine can understand only zeros and ones. So the machine code is purely consists of zeros and ones. So this is also known as binary code. So this process, so what is this process? The source code is getting converted into machine code. So why? Because in order to convert into machine understandable format. So if anything, if machine able to understand, then only it can process it. Then only we are going to get the output, whatever the desired output we are going to get. So here it is a three-step model. What is a three-step model? Input we need to give, and the system is going to process it, and finally you are going to get the output. So here three steps: input, processing, output. So in order to process the data, it has to understand. So which data it can understand? Only machine data. But the human, so it is for us difficult to write the complete instructions with only machine code. So what we are going to do, we are going to use high level languages. So why? Because high level language supports the large data set. Yes or no? So if the vocabulary is very high, then it is easy for us to write the instructions. If the vocabulary is very less, then it is difficult for us to write the instructions, right? So here zeros and ones, it is very difficult to write the instructions with the help of zeros and ones. So what we are doing, we are writing the code in source high level languages so that it will be getting converted into machine code. This process is known as compilation. What we are going to call it as compilation. So here what is going to be perform this compilation? The compiler. So that is the pre-processing. So before going to process, just now I told you input to process output. So what is process? Process is performing the task. In order to perform the task, it requires pre-processing. What is the pre-processing? Converting the source code into machine code. So that is going to be done by preprocessor. So here we are going to discuss about preprocessor in detailed way. So generally the preprocessor is going to be represented with the help of hash sign. So whenever we are going to write the preprocessor, so we are going to use hash sign as a symbol. And the next. So generally the preprocessor directives are four types: file inclusions, macros, condition compilation, other directives. Like this, there is a classification in preprocessor directives. So file inclusion in the sense, so these are the preprocessor directives which are used to include a file. Just like what we are going to write, we people are very familiar with C programs. Every C program which requires one header file. What is that? Hash include stdio.h. What you are doing here, hash is a preprocessor. So what you are doing, you are including. What you are including? stdio.h. So that what is the feasibility you are going to get? So whatever the files which are defined in the stdio. Those files you are able to access through your current program. For example, printf. So you are no need to write the code for printf function. The printf is a function which is already defined in the stdio.h. By including stdio.h to your current program, you are able to get access to use such functionalities like printf, scanf, whatever the header files, input output header files. And macro is a we are defining macros which are going to be useful for our program. So the macro can be defined with a symbol. So whenever you are going to use such symbol, so whatever the particular code or particular definition you are assigned for that symbol, that will be replaced. For example, I will tell you, I want to use size. What is size? The size I am going to declare, whenever I am going to use the word size, so it has to use 100. So what I am going to do, I am going to define, what I am defining the size as 100. So whenever I am going to use the size, what it indicates, 100 it will be indicated. So like that I am going to define the macros and conditional compilation. So whenever you want to impose some conditions, you can use the conditional compilations. Like a condition can be implemented with the help of if. So using the if, you are going to provide the condition, and using the end if, you are going to end the condition. And some other directives which are going to be discussed in continuation of this topic. So see there, file inclusion, just now I told you. So what you are able to include, so you are able to include the stdio.h like this, and you are able to include custom defined file. Suppose you want to write a program. So this program may consist for example 4 pages. So instead of writing the complete program with this such lengthier 4 pages program, you can divide into sub programs. Yes or no? So by dividing the sub programs, suppose you have written one subprogram 1, subprogram 2, subprogram 3, subprogram 4. So you are going to write a main program, and there what you are going to include, you are including subprogram 1 hash include subprogram 2 hash include subprogram 3. By doing this, what you are able to get, you have defined subprogram 1, subprogram 2, subprogram 3 somewhere else, but using the hash include, you are able to link your current program with such subprograms. So that is the feasibility you are able to get with file inclusion. And next, macros. So just now I told you, so macro is used to define the symbols. So here for that symbol you are able to assign some meaning. So here I have used generally hash define is a directive which is used to define macros. And whenever you are going to define the macros, you need to remember one thing, that is you should not keep semicolon. You should not keep semicolon. In C language, every statement ends with a semicolon, but here while defining the macros, you should not keep a semicolon. And conditional compilation, so it is which is used to invoke or impose a condition into the program, and the condition can be imposed with the help of two commands. One is if definition and end if. So using the if, you are able to impose the condition. Using the end if, you are going to mention the end of the condition. So like this, if def macroname, and whatever the statements you are going to add, those are going to be mentioned. So this is about conditional compilation. And next, predefined macros. Some predefined macros are there. So in order to mention the date of the current date, so date macro, file name, file macro, and in order to know the line number, line macro, and in order to know the ANSI standard C and the standard C, the value is non-zero integers. So for standard characters we are going to use for time, and time macro is going to be used. And other directives, hash define, so which is used to define the macros, and hash include, which is used to insert header files, hash undefinition, so in order to undefine the macro, so whatever the macro you have defined, so in order to undefine it, we are going to use the undefined, and in order to impose any condition, then if definition, so if it is already the macro is defined, so then it returns it returns true. And if and if, so if the macro is not defined, then it is going to return the true. So it is going to compile time, condition is true, and the alternative for if is else. And so else if ladder is going to be considered with elif, and in order to end the preprocessor condition, we are going to use the end if, and in order to show the error message, hash error. And pragma is a special kind of instruction which is passed to the compiler, so which is standardized method. And here if you look at the examples, so like this, define max array, we are going to use 20. So using hash include, we are able to insert the header files. And using undefined, so here you are going to define the file size as 42, then file size is going to be undefined. And if you are going to add any message, you are going to define the message and you are going to end the condition like this. These are the examples. And if you look at the you define examples like this, hash include stdio.h, hash define pi. So for pi we are going to define the value is 3.14. So whenever you want to use pi, so directly 3.14 is replaced with pi. So that is the usage of macro. And here what I am doing, I am going to define the pi is 3.14 and immediately undefine the pi. So whatever the definition we have added for pi, so it will be removed here. So if you want to trying to print the value of pi, here it leads to compilation error. Why? Because it is already undefined. And here we are going to define the number is 1 and hash if number equal to 0, print value of number is, else print value of number is non-zero. So already number is we have defined as 1, so it is going to get the output as value number is non-zero. And if and if math h, so using the math h we are going to get the mathematical results. So like this we are going to use error message. And error message, so here we are going to, so pragma startup func, pragma exit func. So here what we are going to do, main function we are going to write a statement I am in main, and func we are going to write a statement I am in func. So using by calling func, what we are going to happen, so I am in func, that is going to be printed, and pragma startup func, again we are going to call the func, and again I am in main, and again we are going to get I am in func.